I mean, how do the WeChat people see the YouTube? I guess I'm just saying, are the WeChat people seeing this streaming as well? Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you're all set, and we should go ahead and get started.
All right, Dr. Luo, would you like to start?
Okay. Yes. You can hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Okay, I share my screen. So it's okay. Okay, good morning and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luo, Benjin Luo, Chief Expert of Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute, so-called JITRI in short, which is affiliated to the National Innovation Center by Excellence, so-called NICE in short. Now, I would like to give you an overview of our organization. The National Innovation Center by Excellence, NICE, is an innovation platform jointly established in Yangtze Delta region, covering our businesses in Shanghai and Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Anhui provinces. The existing team of the Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute, JITRI, is responsible for constructing. This is the Yangtze Delta region, covering 1 city, Shanghai, and 3 provinces. So our team of JITRI is responsible for constructing and operating the National Innovation Center, and Professor Liu Qin is our president of JITRI, and is now also the CEO of our NICE, the National Innovation Center. By excellence, will gather global innovation resources and connect with major innovation and enterprises needs in the Yangtze Delta region to build an important joint force for science and technology and a core engine to promote the integrated and high quality development of the Yangtze Delta region. So let's switch to the slide 2. This slide shows where NICE is located. This is here. Located is in eastern China, in the region surrounding Shanghai. I said 3 provinces in 1 city, which is called the Yangtze Delta region. You can see the logos of two organizations on this slide. One is called JITRI, the Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute, and this is an applied research organization that the Jiangsu provincial government established in 2013. And there is also another logo NICE, the National Innovation Center by Excellence. The headquarters is in Shanghai. NICE is fairly new and was established last year in 2021. In 2021, and as a national level innovation platform approved by the Ministry of Science and Technology of China. NICE is basically built upon what JITRI has achieved in the past 10 years, and JITRI is now NICE's main operating entity. To make it easier to get the idea, when JITRI was first established, it learned a lot from the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft in Germany and aspires to become the Fraunhofer in China. It focuses very much on conducting applied research and has a similar organizational structure to Fraunhofer. So this is a quick overview of JITRI and NICE. Currently, we have over 80 research institutes in our system, which are in 5 specified fields, namely advanced materials, energy and environmental science, intelligent manufacturing, biology and medicine, as well as in information and communication technology. Since we are applied research institute, we value our partnership very much with the industry. We have established more than 220 joint innovation centers with local companies. This is to primarily collect their R&D needs to help them find solutions, both among our research institutes and through our domestic and international partners. Overall, we have worked with more than 1,000 companies and have established industry-level partnership with more than 130 domestic and overseas universities and research institutes. There are more than 15,000 employees at NICE, most of which are qualified researchers, R&D personnel, and engineers. Our annual budget is around $100 million, which is primarily spent on conducting applied research, investing in high-tech startup companies, as well as supporting joint R&D and joint training projects with international partners. So this slide shows our mission, which is to promote industrial technology research and the commercialization of advanced scientific results outcomes. We focus very much on application-oriented research, which is the research between technology readiness level 4 to 7, between technology validation in labs and product prototyping in an operational environment. Our goal is to bridge the infamous valley of funding deaths that lies between the research and commercialization. We are an organization that does not only conduct applied research, but also has investment function. We work closely with top-notch technical teams who are willing to settle in the Yangtze Delta region. Typically, we would invest in such teams together with local industry parks to establish startup companies or new research institutes. While we do have an investment function, we are a not-for-profit organization. You can basically consider NICE as an economical promotion agency for public interest. So this slide shows the 3 key pillars of NICE innovation ecosystem. The first is our R&D platforms, which include our research institutes, the high-tech startup companies we invested in, as well as the joint venture we formed with foreign companies. In total, we have 70+ research institutes in Jiangsu province and another 15 in Shanghai. And we have invested in 45 startups, companies, and formed 2 joint ventures. The second pillar is our connection with the industry. Again, we have established more than 220 joint innovation centers with leading enterprises in the Yangtze Delta, where we collect their R&D problem statements and help them find solutions. First of all, from our R&D platforms, the first pillar. But if we are not able to find technical solutions for the companies within our system, then we will turn to the third pillar, which is our domestic and innovation international innovation resources. Currently, we have signed memorandums of understanding with more than 60 domestic universities and more than 70 international partners. We will have our local industry partners connect with them, and which can deliver solutions to the problems or the RD problem statements. Now we can see this slide. This slide shows how we work with our industry partners. Through establishing joint innovation centers with them, JITRI collects industry demands or R&D problem statements that the enterprise is willing to address and invest in. We look for solutions to these demands through our global innovation network. We then match domestic and overseas partners with the companies and provide funding support for the joint R&D projects. Here we see we have also established more than 7 offices and incubators. Among them, 4 are in North America and 2 are in Europe and 1 in Israel. That's our very short introduction of our organization. You are welcome to our organization, and we were with great pleasure to cooperate with you. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to discuss later. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much for that. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Grand. I am the CEO here at MedTech Innovator. Nice to see everyone. Let me just quickly introduce myself, and I'm going to tell you all about MedTech Innovator and the opportunity to be part of our Accelerator. Very happy to have JITRI as partners. Thank you very much for that introduction. So MedTech Innovator is an accelerator, and I'm going to tell you all about the program. To begin with, I want to make sure everyone understands what we're talking about here. We're a global competition and accelerator for medical device, digital health, and diagnostic startups. And our whole mission is to find the technologies that can really accelerate the transformation of care and make sure these companies succeed. That's what we're trying to do. What you're looking at here on the screen is the graduating class of 2022 from our Asia Pacific program, which was at the finals competition we held in Singapore. And all of the companies that are participating are ones that are from all over the world. I'm going to tell you a little more about that in a moment. Again, I'm Paul Grand. I'm the CEO here at MedTech Innovator. My background was as an entrepreneur. I started 8 different companies in tech, medtech, and biopharma. I also was a venture capitalist for 12 years, and I've been running MedTech Innovator for the last 10 years. So I'm going to continue to tell you a little more about that now. So at the bottom of the screen, what you see there are the logos of the partners who've been part of MedTech Innovator from 2019 through 2022. And these are the people who are really driving the program from start to finish. Other accelerators tend to be really early stage and focused on people with ideas. MedTech Innovator is focused on companies that are companies. We're more like the graduate school for accelerators. And so let me tell you a little more about that. MedTech Innovator is the largest healthcare accelerator on the planet. If you look on the right, you'll see a graph over here showing some of the other accelerators around the world. We are by far the largest in any field in healthcare. And we have an ecosystem that is really unparalleled of 500 plus reviewers, judges, and mentors who are experts from all over the world. in commercializing medical technology. Our alumni who graduated MedTech Innovator have brought more than 200 products through regulatory approval. We've been in operation now for 10 years globally. In Asia Pacific, this will be our 5th year having our Asia Pacific program in 2023. We operate a 4-month accelerator, which I'm going to tell you all about. And we're looking for companies that range in stage from seed round companies all the way up to Series C stage companies, C like Charlie. The idea is that we offer something for all these companies that help them accelerate their path to commercialization across the Asia Pacific regions, as well as in other markets like the US and Europe. At the end of our program, we'll offer some additional prizes in the form of a competition, which will be $300,000 US. And if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you see some of our highlights. Over 500 companies have graduated MedTech Innovator globally. 95% of them are either still in business or have been acquired. They've gone on to raise over $6 billion after MedTech Innovator. We've had 32 exits, and 36% of our applicants in general are generating revenue. So just because you're a revenue generating company, you might think, oh, I'm too late for an accelerator, but I promise you, you are not too late for MedTech Innovator. A little bit about the resources we offer. It's really in 5 areas. The first is an educational curriculum that is very custom driven by each year's cohort. It is not a boot camp or a 101 style program. This is a program for everybody. We customize it to your needs. We provide mentorship in the form of direct one-on-one coaching. We assign corporate partners to each of our companies, and they provide a lot of the input, but we also have 500 other experts who are able to participate globally and provide some guidance to our companies in specifically the areas they need. We provide many, many resources, but the one I want to really highlight is the community, number 4 on this slide. If you think about it, the companies that we're talking about who are part of MedTech Innovator are some of the highest performing MedTech, digital health, diagnostic startups anywhere in the world. And they're able to help each other. So if you have a problem or you have a question, you're thinking, hey, I have a large capital equipment company and we want to understand maybe some of the new innovative business models. You can reach out to the other MedTech Innovator companies that have the exact same situation, and they can help you with that. So it's both a peer network opportunity as well as mentorship from our corporate partners. We provide a huge amount of recognition and visibility. So it's not just about having a demo day at the end of an accelerator. In our case, our demo day is the industry's largest conference in Asia Pacific at the APAC MedTech Forum, which I'll tell you about. Or on the US side, it's the AdvaMed conference, which will be held this year in Anaheim, California. So the point is, we're trying to make sure that the world knows about you, not just people who happen to come to a demo day. This is giving you exposure to the leadership of the industry through MedTech Innovator. And it's completely customized to every company. There's no cookie cutter program here. Most importantly, it's completely startup friendly. We don't charge any fees for participation. There's no equity that we take automatically from you for participation. We're completely agnostic to your geography. As long as you want to participate in the program, we will have a place for you, assuming you're accepted, of course. So what's involved? Well, here's the process. As you see on the left, we expect to have about 400 people apply for the program. In past years, it's been anything from 300 to 500 per year. Of those, we invite about 50 to 60 companies to pitch on what we call our road tour. And what that means is that our multinational partners that you saw on the first slide will raise their hand and say, hey, I would like to see that company pitch. It might be Siemens Healthineers, or it might be Johnson & Johnson or Olympus or others. They will say, I'd really like to see that company pitch. And we will invite your company to pitch then on our road tour. That's an opportunity to meet with strategics, investors, customers, and others. And if things go well, then we will accept you into our accelerator. There'll be about 20 companies accepted for the accelerator. At the end of the program, which I'll tell you more about, we have the conference at the end, which in this case is the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum. That's a place where 5 finalists will compete for the grand prize, but all 20 companies will be showcased. Also, we will give out prizes. The first prize will be $175,000 US, followed by other prizes as well for all of the companies that make it to the finals. And we'll have some other direct cash awards. So it's a good opportunity to get some non-dilutive funding as well. Now, in terms of geographic diversity, the companies that participate in MedTech Innovator, you can see looking at last year's cohort, are from all over the Asia Pacific region, as well as some companies from the United Kingdom and the United States. And so we're just looking for the best companies. We're not looking in particular for any region. We're not saying, oh, we have to take 5 from Korea and we have to take 5 from China. We have to take, it's not set up that way. We just take the best companies. And you can see we had companies last year that we accepted into the Accelerator from Singapore, New Zealand, India, as I mentioned, the UK, South Korea, Australia. We had companies from China, of course, as well as the United States. We had several companies and so on. So the point is, it's very diverse geographically. It's also very diverse in terms of what those companies are doing. What you're looking at here is the cohorts across our global program last year. So it's not just the Asia Pacific program that we're talking about. It's also our US companies, the ones who are in our US program, and our BioTools Innovator cohort, which is focused on life science tools. If you're accepted, you will be part of a much larger ecosystem of companies. So it's not just the companies that are in Asia. You'll have access to all of these companies as well. For a rough timeline, the way the things are going to flow, we'll be accepting applications through the end of this month, through the end of January. Anyone is welcome and encouraged to apply. You may say, well, I'm too early to apply. I'm not ready yet. I can promise you, you're not too early to apply. You may be too early to be accepted, but you're not too early to apply. And what I mean by that is most of the companies that get accepted to MedTech Innovator apply more than 1 year in a row before they get accepted. Some of them have applied 3 or 4 years before we accept them. We always say it's the right time for the right company. And the thing that's nice about applying is if we advance you to the pitch road tour, we'll have a chance to give you some feedback that even if we don't accept you, will help you in your next application. So again, it's all about exposure. Oftentimes, companies, as I said, have to apply multiple years until our partners are ready to accept them. And it is definitely a decision made by our partners. More about that. So that road tour of pitch events happens in March through May. In June, we begin the program. And that's going to begin at the MedTech Innovator Summit, which is held in San Francisco. So a huge advantage of the 2023 program, which is a new feature, is that in addition to being part of the Asia Pacific events, you will have the opportunity, if selected, to go to San Francisco to meet with all of those other companies that I showed you before. So your peers in our US program from the US, Europe, and Israel, and other countries, as well as the life science tools innovators. So you'll have all of them plus our alumni. And then you'll get to meet with investors and others in the US. So that'll be a huge opportunity. That's the beginning of the program. It's a 3-day event from the 14th to the 16th of June. Then we have our virtual program where the 20 companies will participate with corporate mentoring, weekly webinars, and other components of the program. At the end, we'll have our showcase and competition at the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum in Singapore. So that will be at the end of September in 2023. And that will be the time where we'll hold our competition and showcase. So a little more about these pitch events. What do they look like? Some will be virtual, some will be in person. The important thing to note is that these are invite only. So it's not something where we just invite a big audience and they all show up and listen. This is just people that we invite. They are mainly multinational corporations, investors, potential customers, other subject matter experts. They will be there to meet with you and to give you feedback. You'll have an opportunity also for some networking and discussion. And the really nice thing as a pitch company, if you get invited to pitch, you will have the opportunity for verbal and written feedback. So we will send you a PDF with all the judges' feedback. So that will happen after our road tour. And you might be wondering, how do we evaluate companies? Well, there's three main areas that we evaluate companies. And these are some of those: value, execution, and momentum. And although you might think, okay, well, I can't check every one of these boxes, that's just fine. Very few companies check every box in terms of being perfect. Most companies are just very good in all of these areas. And what happens is, during our program, the idea is to take good companies and make them great. So we're going to be evaluating you based on these categories. We want to make sure you offer strong value with your product, that you have the ability to execute, meaning you have the resources, like at least a team and a good plan, that you've got an early prototype and the capital, if needed, to execute on that plan. So sometimes there are companies where everyone's working without a salary and they can execute without a lot of funding. Other people have a larger team and they need a lot of funding. Again, as I mentioned, we're looking for companies from the seed through Series C stage. So we'll have companies with 2 people. We'll have companies with 200 people. In some cases, they're just looking for something in terms of new markets to access. That's a key component. Momentum, we're looking for companies that are achieving milestones and are on track to hit things like you see here on the right. So again, you can take a screenshot, or you can look at this on our website. We have that in our FAQs. The summit. So if you're accepted into the program and you make it, your first step will be to fly out, as I said, to San Francisco in June of 2023. This is going to be the 14th through the 16th of June. And you'll have a chance to interact with all the other companies in the program, our partners, alumni. It'll be about 200 to 250 people who are just part of this year's program or the alumni. And this is a great opportunity to network with companies from all over the world who are just like you in terms of your stage, and some that are more advanced than you, that you'll have a chance to learn from, or some that are behind you, and you might even have a chance to teach them something. So this is going to be a great, exciting opportunity for everyone in the 2023 program. Once we get to the Accelerator, after that, it'll be virtual. So the program is a series of webinars and many different topics. The idea is that you will sit down at the beginning of the program. You'll tell us your goals. You'll say, we're trying to figure out how to get ready. Let's say you're a company that's based in China, and you say, we'd also like to enter the Japanese market. Or perhaps you'll say, we'd like to enter the Australian market or the US market and others. The opportunity then during these webinars will be to learn about those opportunities and to ask questions of our experts. So it's almost like sitting down with a small panel and asking them questions. That's how the function works. And you'll have the opportunity to do that on pretty much every topic you could imagine along the way. But again, this is all driven by you in terms of your needs and in terms of your interests. So we'll make sure that the program is customized to you. For our other guest who's here and just joined us, if you want to turn off your camera until we're ready for you. Okay. The other thing that I mentioned before is that you'll have the opportunity to refine your value propositions and market access strategies in many, many markets around the world. So that's a key part of this program. And then at the end of the program, which as I mentioned is virtual, we'll get to our grand finals. This is the time that we'll have a showcase and a competition. It'll be in Singapore at the end of September. And this is, again, where all of our companies for the second time will get together. You'll be there showcasing to investors, to strategic multinationals, to other potential partners, and you'll be in front of the industry leadership. So the audience are the CEOs in some cases, or the leadership teams of the leading multinationals in Asia Pacific. And this is an opportunity to meet with the companies that you will probably be a partner with at some point down the road, or maybe even get acquired by one of these companies. So, this is a great opportunity for partnering, also looking for distribution in other markets. There's lots of opportunities here. So this is what it looks like. And hopefully you'll be up on that stage with me in September this year. So that's a little bit of an overview on the program. We have two of our alumni here that I've invited to answer some questions about the program. So we've got Langston Suen from Ophthalmic Technology, who's based in Hong Kong, and then we also have a second, Jason Kev from Novaprint Therapeutics as well. So why don't we start off first, Langston, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, just briefly tell us about you and a little bit about Ophthalmic, and then I'll ask you some more questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Paul. Great to see everyone here online. I'm Langston, founder and CEO of Ophthalmic. We are basically a MedTech company that tries to redefine the standard of care for eye care, because right now we see this huge unmet need where people need to endure invasive eye injections just to get eye disease managed. So we developed a novel ultrasound technology that allows non-invasive delivery of drugs to pretty much all parts of the eye. And we work with big pharma companies and biotech companies to co-develop products so that we are able to accelerate our efforts to bring such solution to patients in the bedside.
Terrific. And then just briefly, Langston, the stage that you were at when you applied to MedTech Innovator, were you, was this just an idea? Was it further along? Tell me a little bit about where you were.
Sure. So we were in the 2021 cohort, and back there when we applied for the MedTech Innovator APAC program, we pretty much went past the initial proof of concept stage, and we are also in the process of redefining the strategy as to how we can really effectively bring our solution to the market. We were thinking of two main directions. One, obviously, our solution will be in form of device. So one way to go is that we become like a device manufacturer or supplier kind of role, and then try to interface with end users like clinics or healthcare service providers to provide our delivery system. But through the program, pretty much when we are put in touch with industry experts, we are also being discuss and guide towards another possible angle, which is more like a solution company. We provide our solution to another stakeholders in the field, which is the pharmaceutical companies. And we, one way to go is that work with these companies, co-create new products, and through their networks, they will try to distribute our solution in a more effective way. So we were at that stage of redefining the business model, and also in a way how we can accelerate our effort to get our solution into clinical phase.
Terrific. And then once you got into the program, you had obviously opportunities to work with different people during the program. Maybe you could just talk a little bit about some of the benefits. And again, I know you're evaluating a lot of these things during MedTech Innovator. Just briefly summarize some of the things that that you got out of the program. Certainly, you won the entire competition, so we know you got a cash prize. But there's more to it than that. So maybe if you could just summarize some of the other things that you got out of this.
Sure. So, we're very lucky that we get engaged with 3 corporate mentors. And I think one of the key takeaways is that we get very solid and practical advice on how to enhance the compliance of our overall device development efforts, obviously on the quality side. So this is something that we see, is probably the next area of growth, even before we join the program. But throughout the 4-month virtual mentorship relationship that we have with the corporate mentors, we actually get accelerated a lot, literally. And shortly after the program, we already start, initiating our own quality management system, and now we are fully compliant to the latest standards. So I think this gives you a taste as to what this program can really provide. Not just on some high level advice, but really put things into context, and they will point out where what are the areas that best put your effort to further enhance and get your business forward.
Terrific. That's great. So why don't we pause here on you, and I'm going to bring on our second alumni, and then I'll have you maybe both on together. So why don't we go ahead and bring up Jason, if you're still here, and you want to come up, turn on your camera. Oh, let's see. Wait, actually, I'm looking in the panelists, and do we see him? There he is.
Hi, good morning, Paul.
Jason, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm great.
So
So,
yeah, why don't we? I'd love to hear your story. So if you want to tell us a little bit first about yourself and Novaprint.
yeah, so I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Novaprint Therapeutics. So we are a company for 3D bioprinting medical devices for bone and skin tissues. So now we are in the clinical stage for our new product NovaPro, and also for the bone and also for the skin substitutes. And when we apply for the MedTech Innovator, so we have a lot of data in China, but like for all over the world, we don't know the regulatory affairs or the distribution or the foreign investors. So that's a really good chance for us to go abroad to meet more people all over the world and discuss with them about our strategies and our plan. And we wish to distribute our product to the foreign country like US and CE market. So that's our goal for attending this forum. Yeah.
And I remember Jason seeing you and your team over in Singapore at during our showcase, and you guys were doing some great networking and meeting. It seems like you were meeting with a lot of people. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about some of the things that you got out of that portion as well, in addition to just the program itself.
Yes. So for I think first of all, the MedTech Innovator is a very good organization for our a new startup company to go outside to meet more people, and you guys are very professional for organizing this event, and help us a lot for organizing us to meet more some of the for big corporate, for example, the Johnson & Johnson, and also some academic research groups in local Singapore, and also for the regulations. So we want to expand our market, and we meet some people over there and build some connections. I think for connections and also for the learning curve, so it's very important for us to attend this meeting, and it's very meaningful for us.
Terrific, thank you. So let's so Langston, if you want to come back, we'll get all three of you here, or get all three of us on the screen together. So Langston, you participated in a year when the program was virtual. So it was a little bit different in how it was structured and everything. But ultimately, I know you had a lot of visibility as well during the program and since then. So I'm just curious, did you find that after MedTech Innovator that the experience or the exposure helped Opharmic? Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, the recognition and also being very honored to be selected as the grand prize winner in 2021. This is a very solid validation that, especially across MedTech or even biotech industry, people do recognize. It's not something that you just join and get that title. You have to earn it, and people know it's challenging. So this is very, I would say, a good opportunity for companies to really get exposed to very experienced corporate leaders and challenge yourself and your business model in a way that really helps to get your business forward in ways that may be way beyond your imagination. So right now, as I mentioned, one of the aspects that we have very significant breakthrough is on our overall device development efforts, the compliance, the quality, and also how we can structure our efforts in a way that enable us to deliver our solution to different partners' needs. And secondly, also, on the team structure, that has also immense impact because when you spoke to corporate leaders, you know how big corporates really define the strategy in a way that allows effective operation execution. Because startup resources is scarce. You can't hire all the top executives to help you, achieve your agenda or your business goals. So these corporate leaders, through the mentorship program and sessions, really help you to, think through the process and advise you how to get what you really need. And slowly, I would say is to corporatize your startup to make it and, learn the best practice that all these multinationals have. So one angle is how I build, the device and the research team in a way that allows us to pursue a business model. This is still long lasting. And so I do feel, the recognition, the quality and the level of advices they will get is definitely something that's long lasting. It's not just going to disappear after the 4-month virtual program or after the grand final.
Right, and in fact, in your case, you and I saw each other this week in San Francisco again, in California. You've been able to not only be part in that case of the Asia Pacific program, but also had a chance to participate in some of the networking and activities at JP Morgan this week in California. How was that for you in terms of having a chance to? It's again, it's an opportunity to go beyond the Asia Pacific region and work with potential partners in the U.S. So I'm just curious, how was that experience for you?
Well, that experience is great because, for every start, I'm sure you're not just focusing on your domestic market. And the solution that you all are working towards or you invented probably has a very great and versatile application area. So, being able to, be in person in a different geographical location and speak to people in the field, be it investors, peers in a similar field, or even, from an industry stakeholder standpoint, like insurance company or, other providers, that really helps you to further strengthen your perspective as to how you can effectively translate what you have and bridge it and bring it into some other new markets that you might not be thinking of right now. Being able to base in APAC obviously has an advantage, but with this MedTech Innovator program, especially I just heard from Paul's introduction that people might be able to get selected and join the summit. I think that's a very invaluable experience because that allows you to get firsthand insights. What is it like, to enter into the US market? What are people in the US market really focusing on when they consider adopting, say, a new solution or new product or new innovation? So these are the things that you can really get. And while you're based in APAC, but these sort of insights will really help you to build your company to regional or even a global scale.
So let's and again, Jason, if you want to join us again too, if you want to turn your camera on. I want to make sure we give people a chance to have some advice from former companies on just in general, advice on applying to the program. So what we can start with that, and then we'll talk maybe a little bit about advice for during the program, how to best benefit from it. So why don't we start off first with applying? Maybe I'll go to you, Jason. And again, sometimes I know there are different people that fill out the application, so it may not, I can't remember if you filled it out or not, or for somebody else in your team. But any thoughts on the initial part of the process? Any suggestions that either of you have, either Jason or Langston, recommendations for how other people who are there in China might approach just applying in the first place?
Yeah, I'll give some suggestions for the people who want to apply for the next MedTech Innovator. So I think first of all, for medical device, I think you need to really need the crucial needs for the clinical. So that's my first advice, because our devices is the idea is based on the clinical needs, and we talk to lots of hospitals over there. And when we are applying that, we need to focus on the crucial needs first of all, and then the big market, and then you want to have a specific design for fulfill your goal. I think that's our thought process when we are applying this MedTech Innovator Forum. And also for the suggestion, I think for the attenders, I'm not sure how many people like apply the forum like at the beginning. I think, but for the last 20, so we didn't see lots of like medical devices for the implementation. So I think we are the only one in the final, and I think we reach more like medical device like the non-active medical devices can be joined in this group. I think to make the varieties more like different medical devices in the same competition, not just like I think so many are active medical devices. I think that's the suggestion for the next year MedTech. Yeah.
And thank you. And how about you, Langston? Any other tips or any other advice?
Sure. I mean, I definitely echo what Jason said. But I mean, I still remember the time when I myself and my partner, Sarah, filling out the application form for the 2021 cohort. Obviously, you know, as a startup, we don't have every answers to a successful commercialization plan. So I would guess one thing to add is that try to highlight, you know, which area you're focusing on and what's the unmet need and why your solution you feel can address that unmet need. I think that will help make your story stronger. Obviously, you don't have all the answers as to say, okay, how you're going to deliver or commercialize your product, the pricing, you know, the manufacturing, the supply chain. You may not know that, but at least try your best to demonstrate your knowledge as to, okay, why you think your solution can be helpful. Those are maybe 2 or 3 unmet needs that you see in the market. And hence, you know, I believe our solution can really create impact. I think that will give you a good start and help you bridge some of those unknowns throughout the program as well.
Yeah, and in terms of the mentorship itself, interacting with mentors during the program, any tips that you have also for people if they get accepted? Any suggestions? You know, I always tell people you get what you put into MedTech Innovator. If you just apply and then get in, but don't attend the webinars and don't participate or don't set up calls, you're not going to get very much out of it. So any tips from you in how to maximize the experience of being a MedTech Innovator?
So maybe I will quickly share a few words. So in my case, we got 3 corporate mentors, everyone coming from different background. I guess, first of all, you have to be very proactive. They are here to help, but they obviously won't know what's the best unless you tell them and you're able to articulate your need. So I would definitely encourage when you get into the program, look up the mentor's background and their expertise, and then try to see, whether their industry experience could be something that can help address, the weak point of your business. For example, when we get mentorship from Align Technologies, obviously they are not in the drug delivery space or in the eye care space, but I was able to focus the mentorship session as to leveraging their go-to-market and commercialization experience and their experience in China, and how to take those experiences that they have and try to distill something that is useful for our case. So you have to be very creative and also put some efforts to try to think through, how their experience, their exposure could help you in a specific case.
Good advice, for sure. And Jason, any advice from you on, again, on participating in the program, whether it's with the mentors or if there's multiple team members who should be involved? You're the CTO, so it wasn't just you as well, right? So you maybe can talk a little bit about that.
I think for the mentorship, I think you must know what's your strong point. For us, our strong point might be the technology itself and like the clinical research and the preclinical studies. So we are strong in the academic point. So the mentorship should more focus on the distribution or the market plan or the strategies. I think our mentor Johnson & Johnson is very strong in that part. They know what's the market, what the market needs, and how to develop the market and get your product more exposure in the market. I think it should be a very good fit and match for us. So both the applier and the mentorship. So I think that's my experience during the MedTech cohort.
That's great. You know, and by the way, for both Langston and you, Jason, and other team members, for this year's summit that we'll have in San Francisco in June, you'll both be invited. Your companies will be invited to join that as well as alumni. And you may not be able to attend, but if you can, we'd love to have you there, as you know, give you the opportunity to meet the other companies and again share your insights, you know, with peers. And learn from each other. So, you know, we'd love to have you both there. You'll be getting a formal invitation soon, but I'm telling you that now. So you're not envious that we didn't have that as an option last year. You'll definitely get that option this year.
Good to know, Paul. Look forward to that.
Yeah, terrific. And by the way, and that's something else that I did mention this a little before too, but I want to make sure everyone who's listening hears this as well. Again, that it's not just one person. So, you know, multiple people from Opharmic, multiple people from Novaprint participated in the program. And that I think is a key thing, is that it's not just about the CEO. It's not just about the engineers. It's an opportunity for the appropriate people in the organization to get exposure to, you know, the corporates and to the other companies and the other learnings. Those webinars that we have are open for everyone on the team to to attend, and that's something that, you know, again, we encourage is for multiple people to participate. So I know you guys took advantage of that, and I'm glad that you did. So we only have a couple minutes left. Before we close out this portion, I just want to ask again, you know, Jason and Langston, anything else you want to say, any other advice or anything else you want to tell us about where to get in touch with you? If people who are watching are interested in learning more about your companies, maybe you can just tell us where they can find you on, whether it's WeChat or something else. Where do people find you? So Langston.
Yeah, so we can always get connect on LinkedIn, and we can then take it from there. You can easily find my profile with my name as shown here. One last word to add, I think, you know, I would definitely encourage, you know, you all who are listening, who, you know, if you're still thinking of whether to apply or not, you know, don't think, just apply. It will take you to where, you know, you far beyond your imagination. Like I myself, my case, my company, we do get a lot of advancement and progress during and after the program. And I can still feel the impact as of now. Even now, it's already 2023. But that's sort of valuable inputs and mentorship guidance that you get. That's long lasting. So don't think about it, just apply.
I love it. Jason, any last words from you?
Yes, as I think Langston's words echo me a lot. So when we apply the MedTech Innovator cohort, we never think we can go to the final S20, because for us, we have our technology is very new. It's not very like the commercialization is not like very popular in the market right now. But we got to the final 20 and we got lots of resources during the cohort, and I think it's amazing experience. And for us, for the Novaprint Therapeutics, we offer 3D bioprinting technology, and we hope more and more like practical the hospitals or the doctors can reach me, and we can make your clinical idea into a product. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you both. We'll look forward to hopefully seeing you in San Francisco this coming June, and we'll certainly be in touch before that. So thank you both.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here, and you guys can both jump off. So for those of you again in the audience, hopefully this has been helpful to understand some of the basics. Let me just finish up here with the last couple slides. So there's two things I also want to tell you about. Number one is that we have a special new program this year in partnership with Olympus Corporation, which is based in Japan, that they have a special challenge that's going to be integrated with MedTech Innovator's 2023 Asia Pacific program, as well as an add-on to the program. And so what they're looking for, as you see some of the things in the slide here, they're looking for some innovations in the advancement of minimally invasive care and new ways to detect, monitor, and treat conditions and diseases, particularly in the areas of cancer and diseases of the stomach, colon, and lungs, and within the urology space. Those are their key areas of interest. So if you're developing a technology in those areas, you would be potentially a candidate for this special program, which will happen after MedTech Innovator. So you'll be part of the main program, and then you'll continue on in a special Olympus program if you're selected. There'll be a US $75,000 prize, as well as mentorship from Olympus. And you see some examples below here in the text of some of the things that might qualify for interest from Olympus. So smart endoscopy, robotics, sensing and monitoring and navigation technologies, things that are transforming the patient care pathway, novel devices and solutions that might replace current procedures or an alternative to drug treatments, innovations in less invasive surgery and treatment, ethical AI, digitally enabled technologies, next generation documentation, smart gastro clinics, remote patient monitoring. It goes on and on. So if your company falls into these areas, you might be a candidate not only for MedTech Innovator's main program, but also for the Olympus Challenge. If you think you fit into those categories, when you're filling out your application, there's a little box in the top right that says special category Olympus Challenge. You'll want to check that box. So how do you apply? You see the QR code here on the screen and the URL for the website. It's medtechinnovator.org/Asia Pacific, or just www.medtechinnovator.asia. That will bring you to the Asia Pacific apply page. And there's a link at the bottom if you scroll down where you click register, and that will start you on the process. If you have any questions about the application, you can email the hello@medtechinnovator.asia email address. We'll be happy to answer those questions for you and get you on the right path. So thank you very much for participating today. Again, here's our QR code, so make sure you have that scanned if you can, or medtechinnovator.org/Asia Pacific or medtechinnovator.asia. I appreciate our hosts at JITRI for sponsoring us today to be here and sharing this with their WeChat channel. All of you who are here, thank you for joining. The criteria for the applications, I know there was a question in the chat about that. You'll find that on the FAQ section. If you go to the bottom of that page from the QR code, you'll see an FAQ link, click that. It will tell you the criteria for applying to MedTech Innovator. And basically, we're looking for everybody. As long as you're not developing a drug or a biologic, as long as you're developing a device, a diagnostic technology, a digital health technology, or even a life science tools innovation, we're interested in hearing from you. So take the advice from Langston and just apply. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you very much.